A heartbroken man can become a beast if he so chooses to. See, what God says to the man who has to let go is actually really profound. He's speaking to those guys, right? Like a man who's been heartbroken and torn up can become a monster. He can change so much in his life. You're carrying something that you were never meant to keep. And maybe that's the reason why that relationship that you had ended, a relationship that fell apart, right? The version of you that you thought you'd be by now, a mistake that you can't keep replaying. Like there's just so much going on. What do you do? See, and the problem is people keep telling you just move on. And I know firsthand it's not necessarily that simple. Like you can't just flip a switch and be done with it. But nobody's telling you how to do that. And more importantly, nobody's telling you what God actually says about it. And that's what we're going to cover today. Before we get into it, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Max Dutton. I am a mindset coach, an author, motivational speaker, and I'm here to help you today to figure out how to overcome this breakup. Okay, so the first thing I need you to know is there's a trap that you fall into, a trap of looking back, right? We look back. There's so many stories in the book of Genesis, like, for example, Lot's wife. God literally told her, do not look back. When you look back, you turn to ash, my brother. See, the old city is done. What's behind you is finished. It's time to move into the next chapter. And so when Lot's wife looked back, what happened? She became a pillar of salt that fast. Now, I'm not on here throwing stones at her because most of us do the exact same thing. We don't look back with our eyes. We look back with our minds. We rehearse the pain. We go over it over and over again. We revisit the conversations and the things we could have changed. We replay the failure over and over. And every single time you do that, you're not moving forward. You're actually stationary. You're frozen in a moment that God already closed the door on. Right? In the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 18, it says, forget the former things, do not dwell in the past. That's not a suggestion. That is a command from the Lord. God isn't telling you that the past didn't hurt. He knows it hurt. He knows you. Before you were in the womb, I knew you. He knows everything. He's telling you that the past does not lead you. And a man who lets his past rule him, he's never going to be able to arrive to what God is trying to do with you. He's never going to arrive at what God has in store for you. Okay? So we can't keep looking behind us. Now let's talk about what moving on actually means. Like, let's kill the myth. Moving on does not mean pretending that these things did not happen. It doesn't mean that you weren't affected. It doesn't mean that you're, like you stuff it down, you stuff this pain down, and you have to act tough and pretend to be something that you're not. Moving on means like you let go of yesterday. You don't let it have authority over your day today. You don't allow that. In Philippians 3, Paul, this man had been a murderer. Paul killed Christians. Like he would hang Christians. He would have, he was a violent, dangerous man. He had blood on his hands. Right? A lot of people don't realize that. He wrote most of the New Testament. He had every reason to be paralyzed with guilt, with shame. But he didn't look back. Here's what he says. Forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal. Notice the word straining. It's not a passive word. That's not easy. Moving forward, we know it takes effort. It takes intention. You have to be intentional with it. A man doesn't drift into his future. He presses into his future. And that's what you need to do right now. You need to press, right? The old version of you, the failure, the sin, the loss, the nonsense. Like you can't let it become your identity. Paul refused to let his past become his identity, even though his past was genuinely, just truly terrible. And so you're not who you were. You're just not. You're not what happened to you. You're who God says that you are. And God is telling you that you're a new creation. So if the grief is real, does it have an expiration date? Well, the answer is yes. See, I want to be real with you for a second because I don't want to gloss over the grief part of this thing, right? Like grief is real. Loss is real. Some of you have lost something really significant. a marriage, a friendship, a dream. Maybe that was you. Maybe you lost your dream, right? A person. And that pain that you're feeling, we know it's legitimate, right? That's true. But in Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 22, his mercies are new every morning. That verse was written in the middle of destruction, right? The author had watched Jerusalem burn. He wasn't writing from this like comfortable place. He was writing from like the ashes of this place. The rubble was broken down on top of him. And so even in the middle of the rubble, he found that God's mercy, God's grace was still fresh, still new every single morning. So what does this mean for us? That means that no matter how bad last year was, this morning is a new morning. It's a new chance. Today is not last year. Today is not that moment. God gives us every single day a new supply of grace. Every 24 hours, we have a new supply of grace. And so grief has its purpose, but it does have an expiration date. And you're allowed to mourn, but you are not allowed to live in that space, to live in that section. The tent is not the destruction. Okay? So in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, let's break it down, right? What is God actually doing here? Here's the part that a lot of people have a really hard time grasping. See, in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, it says, all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. All things. It doesn't say some things, not just the good things. All things, including what you've gone through. This means that the thing that you're calling the worst failure, the worst part of your life, God has already factored that into your testimony, into your journey, your story, that season that you wish you could erase. God is weaving it into something you cannot see yet. That's the best part about it. You cannot see it. This is what separates a man of faith from a man of circumstances. A man of circumstance looks at his past and sees a wreckage. A man who is of his circumstances. I grew up with two parents addicted to crack cocaine. I grew up in poverty. My circumstances were not favorable. I could let that be my reality. But a man of faith looks at his past and says, God is building something with this. God is building a new creation in me. You don't have to understand God's plan to trust the architect. And it can be hard for us to understand that concept. See, Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, God speaks to a man who just lost his leader, right? Moses is dead, and the old season is over, right? What happened in the past is gone. A whole new mission is in front of him. And God says to him, he says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Wherever you go, not wherever you were. Through this season as well, you will persevere. God's presence is forward. God's purpose is forward. The new thing he is doing, Isaiah said it, it is springing up. Do you not perceive it? And so here's my charge to you today, gentlemen. All right? Here's my charge to you today. Stop rehearsing. Stop it. Stop thinking about what's behind you. Stop thinking about what happened yesterday. Stop grieving. Stop giving all your energy to a chapter God already closed. You don't live there anymore. You are not that man anymore. Pick up Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25, and put it over your life. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze before you. Directly in front of you. Eyes forward, feet moving. God ahead of you. See, this is why a man must continue to move forward, because God has a plan for you. You have to focus on the next chapter. But a man who refuses to do that finds himself in a position where he'll never be able to reach what God has in store for him. So if this hits you, if this is something you've been dealing with, drop a comment below and tell me what season you're in. If you want to work with me directly, go ahead and click the link in the description of this video, and you'll be able to find a calendar page where you can book a time on my calendar and speak with me and my team. Additionally, I also have a link to my community down there. We do live coaching every single week, Q&As. Come on in, right? You can click that link, join my community, bring it into the fold. I'm here to help you. But you don't get better by just watching these videos. You get better with community. It's time to build the man. It's time to grow. It's time to become great. It's time to change your circumstances and to be awesome. Let's go. Click the links in the bio, in the description right here, and let's get started.